Hey guys, so what an incredible match that I witnessed at Newlands today. Absolutely fantastic display for SA20, for T20 cricket. It was the complete game, I think, from a fan's perspective, from a cricket perspective. I think it was a fantastic display. We got to see a little bit of everything, particularly if you're a South African cricket fan. I think this game was great. The reason I say that is because we had a young player dominate. We also had a player that the fans will call a favorite, someone that players have been that our fan base has been speaking about for quite some time, saying that we need to get him into the Proteas team. Not a lot of people have been very happy with the way he's been treated. We also have had a good bowling performance as well from a South African player that has also been in and around the Proteas setup or SAA setup, but hasn't really gotten a game per se yet to really showcase his talent and his ability. So an all-round game, and for Newlands as well, a perfect display for them. I think a good wicket was prepared this time around for the SA20, and a exciting game for the crowd. A lot of runs, a good chase. Ultimately, just the perfect T20 game, you would say. And we're going to be discussing all of this on today's show. We've been quite busy in the stands today with content, so please follow us on all social media platforms to see the content that we have produced around in the crowd at Newlands, because I was present today. You guys asked me about that, and yeah, that is something that I really wanted to do and wanted to watch a game live. But before we get going, before we get started, there's just a couple of things I'd like you guys to please do. First and foremost, subscribe to the channel, click that notification bell for all future videos. Very important that you guys do so, because we're on the brink of 5,000 subscribers and we really need your South African cricket fan support. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel as soon as you can. I'd also like you guys to smash that like button and also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. The SA20 edition is currently out, so it's a good read for you guys. Regardless of whether you are reading it now as the tournament started or not, I think it will give you a good understanding and some good insight into the tournament and our thoughts as a team on this particular tournament. And as you guys know, we've recently launched the Cricket Fanatics magazine Business Corner, and it is all about us giving everyone that is in the business community, that's an entrepreneur, whether you're selling products, services, we want to give you a platform where you can market your business effectively and affordably. And we are the only viable option for you guys to do so. So please go ahead and tell your friends and families that own businesses, that have got that entrepreneurial mind, that are looking to market to a cricket audience, to go to this link. It's in the description as well as on the screen right now. And you can start with a free consultation with us to see how things can fit and how we can help you do exactly what you want to do in this marketing and business space. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to discussing this with you guys. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your SA20 Watch Daily Show. I'm your host, Khalid Moedin, and this is the show where we talk about all the South Africans that have performed in the SA20. And once again, I'm sitting here with a live stream where another great day of cricket was on display, and another great day for the South African stars in this particular tournament. All round, I think as a South African cricket supporter, I think it was the perfect day with a little bit of everything, that was on display today in this particular match. Let's start with the main talking point and the highlight of the day. It has to be Jordan Hermann's 106 of 62 balls, 8 fours, 6 sixes, and 170.96 strike rate. The 22-year-old was absolutely fantastic, and I think that even though they were playing at Newlands at MI Cape Town's home ground, he got a standing ovation from the fans and the crowd when he scored that 100. He took it right until the end, until the last over, to get that century through cramps, through collapses around him, and managed to get that 100 and take his team past 200. He looked a little bit disappointed that he only got them to 202. What actually happened there was, normally when you are in a situation when you're about to get 100, it starts playing on your mind a little bit, especially if you're a young cricketer. And what can happen is that you start to maybe play a little bit more tentatively because you know you're so close to that 100. We saw the complete opposite of Ryan Rickleton when he was in that first game, where he went and he played and he went for the shot still, regardless of whether the fact that he was in his 80s or not. And he still tried to play freely and tried to score runs. Jordan was a little bit more tentative. Maybe that 100 was maybe lurking around in his mind, but he managed to get it in the end and take his team to 202 for in this particular match. What a fantastic performance from the young lad. We were waiting for him to arrive, and now he has arrived in this tournament. I think he was absolutely superb. The shot selection, the power hitting that he showed was phenomenal. And it was also good to see him with David Malan, in the middle. It seems like the two had quite a bit of chats in the middle. And that's what makes this SA20 so special, is that you get opportunities for the young guys to learn from experienced guys. I mean, David Malan averages 50 in T20 cricket. He's experienced. He's won World Cups. He's he's someone that is very, very well versed, very well equipped for this format. And it was good to see an international superstar also score 50 with Jordan Herman at the crease. And it's something that he can learn from, to have an experienced guy like that at the other end. This can only be an lear- um, amazing learning opportunity and educational opportunity for Jordan as a player. But my word, he was really fantastic today. The second 100 in this tournament so far, and it's by a South African, and I'm loving it, completely loving it at the moment. So all praise needs to go to Jordan Herman and the way he performed. I think he was absolutely fantastic in his approach, and we need to see more of this from the younger players. It's a very, and I was already sitting in the stands after this performance and saying, this is now pressure on someone like Deva Brevis, to maybe go out there and perform in front of his home crowd, and show that he can also do what Jordan did. Unfortunately, he had another performance that he wouldn't be very happy with, and I still believe that they need to push with him and continue going with him, and that he will come right in this tournament. He's too talented not to. So let's hope that that will happen. But let's talk about another talking point, and a very important talking point. I must say that the MI bowling display today was not that great. Uh, I think the best bowler on the day was once again, it was Kieran Pollard, definitely with his 2 for 22 in his 3 overs. But Kagiso Rabada was also very good, even though he didn't take any wickets. He got 0 for 29 at a economy rate of 7.25. But the spinners never really came to the party today on this wicket. I don't think maybe that it was very spinner conducive. I would say you will see that by the amount of overs that the spinners bowled today. It wasn't that much. So I wouldn't really necessarily praise the My Cape Town bowlers necessarily, because then they never really came to the party today. And I think they bowled a lot of shorter deliveries, uh, and didn't utilize those Yorkers and the fuller deliveries well enough today. They didn't test the batters enough. The spinners particularly made it quite easy, bowling shorter deliveries that were easy to put away. But we can't take away the an amazing performance by Jordan Herman. I think he just was in sublime form today. So that is something that was fantastic. But then there's another major talking point, and it is Ryan Rickelton. He's now scored his third milestone on the trot, another 50 for him, 58 of 33 balls, two fours and five sixes at a strike rate of 175.75. And him and Rassi van der Dussen really battered well together as a pair, putting another 100-run partnership on the board. Rashi scoring 41 of 28 balls, three fours and two sixes at a strike rate of 146. So he's still keeping up that high strike rate, and he's really still um, performing at this level and shown that he's altered his game when it comes to T20 cricket. He's really looking sharp in the middle. So that was a good opening partnership, and unfortunately, Rassi lost his wicket at 41. But we have to give Ryan Rickelton a major credit. If he's not looked at for that T20 World Cup squad, I will be very puzzled because, based on what Coach Rob had to say, there's an opportunity for guys to put up their hand for that T20 World Cup spots. And I don't think anybody has put up their hand more intent than someone like Ryan. He's absolutely been phenomenal in this tournament so far. So there's no way we can't look at him and the way he's performed. He's been sublime, and he deserves all the credit and he deserves all the congratulations for the way he's performed. I think he's been absolutely fantastic, and we need to start looking at him as a viable white ball option for South Africa down the line. I mean, he really looked really good in the middle again. And it's not easy in T20 cricket to score consecutive half centuries. It's really not. We know that there's only a few players that do that regularly. Uh, we spoke highly of Reza Hendricks when he was doing it internationally, and I think in this tournament as well, SA20, it's a good platform for him to really put up his hand. He's playing against international superstars, and I think that him doing it in different venues, different conditions, needs to be looked at as well. He's been fantastic. So congratulations also to Ryan Rickelton. He's been really superb. And then I need to put a little bit of emphasis, actually a lot of emphasis, on the bowling performance of Otniel Bartman. 3 for 35, one only got hit for three sixes and one four. Economy rate of 8.75. Bowled well at the death to keep SEC out. Really was fantastic. I think uh, he's been in and around the South African setup for some time now, but that last over from Batman was extremely tight. Even though he went for six off his first delivery, he pulled it back really nicely. I know there was a lot of nerves there when he bowled the one wide and one leg by towards the end of the innings. But the two dots, especially that final dot and the two singles that he only conceded, I think it was really good bowling from him at the death, and he really showed his capabilities in the white ball format. And it's time that we see more of him. I think we need to see the consistency from him now throughout the tournament. If he can keep it up, that's going to be something that I'm hoping he can do, and that is something that I think is something to keep an eye on. We need some players that can bowl well at the death. Those are things that we need to see from a South African standpoint. I also think that Marco Jansen, um, we want to see Marco Jansen also come to the party in this tournament, and hopefully his bowling he will learn a lot from this experience, bowling under a lot of pressure. There are a couple of balls where you can see the class, under pressure, and then there's some that just aren't really landing where he wants it to land, and he gets punished. So the consistency, I'm hoping this SA20 can be the tournament where he can show that consistency and find that consistency in his game. But yeah, I think Bartman, fantastic today. And I'm hoping that he can keep it up for the rest of the tournament. But it's nice to see this South African talent on display for the world to see as well. If you want to, I mean, if there was no better place for Jordan Herman to put his name up in nights than like in a tournament like this where everybody's watching. So well done to him and well done to the South Africans today that they put on a great performance for the crowd, for all cricket fans and South African cricket fans and SA20 fans. So well done. We've put up a couple of interviews. There's a couple on YouTube that we uploaded. There are a couple that are going to go up on TikTok. And there are also some that we published on Instagram Reel and Facebook Reels. So go and check out all of our platforms and see all the content that we do. Generally speaking, we use the social media platforms for behind the scenes type content, and that's what we're going to continue doing throughout this tournament. So please stay tuned for that. For the games that I can attend, we will be doing some fan content on the channel as well. So let me get into the live chat and see what you guys have had to say. Kani saying it's quite baffling to me how a player like Connor doesn't even make the playing 11 of the Lions, but makes the playing 11 of MI Cape Town. Yeah, the Lions have a very, very strong team, a very strong unit, and we're going to be seeing a lot of this type of things happening. Sometimes there are going to be a couple of youngsters that are going to get picked up out of nowhere because of the price tag. You need to fill a spot or you need to have a player available, particularly with the rookie signings, you're going to see that. And Connor's one of the rookies. So something that we need to also bear in mind, that rookies need to play games as well. So it's going to be interesting. You look at the balance of your team, you look at the rookies that are available and the ones that are not going to go for big money, and sometimes you get a bargain in those. Lawrence says, what a day of cricket it was. Jordan with a magnificent century, Ryan showing some excellent consistency, bringing up 3 consecutive 50s, and Othniel Bartman showing off his excellent death bowling. Jordan was superb today. He's been struggling this season domestically, but showed his class today. So happy for him. Yeah, he's only gotten he hasn't really got going in the List A tournament, but in the first class cricket, he's had 100, not out 100, and a couple of 50s, but hasn't really had the same form as last season. And I'm hoping for the second part of the first class cricket that he can really start gaining momentum in the format. I still believe that the first class cricket is his best format. That's my opinion on him. I think that he is best suited to that format. He has more time to get himself in, etc. But when you play like you played today, I think we need to stop pigeonholing players because he was absolutely electrifying today on that pitch, and he was in full control throughout the match, took his team till the end, and that's all you can ask for from a guy that scores a century, to bat right until the end. Lawrence says Ryan Rickleton may have already played himself into the T20 World Cup squad. The consistency he's showing is incredible. That's how he operates, because if he's in form, he goes on a run of performances. Ryan also has about 26s in 3 games, already surpassing Will Jack's record of the whole of last year. That's incredible. Wow. Lawrence also says, feel so sorry for DB, Devil Brevis. How many times have we sit here and say, let's not put DB on a pedestal as he's not earned it yet? The boy is a ball of nerves because of the pedestal the fans put him on. I think he just needs to. This happens, you're going to go off form and you're going to have a time to adjust and readjust your game when people start to find you out. So I think we need to just be patient with younger players. and allow them to find their feet within formats, different formats. He's playing all three formats now, and I think his game he's still developing. He's still trying to find his adaptability and to the game. And I think first class cricket is going to really help him with that. And like I said, Devalt needs to go to domestic cricket, put on some runs, score some good scores there, particularly play more first class games. And we need to be patient with him. This rushing players into teams early on, sometimes the pressure can be a lot for players. I don't think that he's been crumbled by the pressure. I just think he's at the moment just finding a rough patch. And he's going to work his way through that. Every youngster is going to go through that. We can't expect every single player that comes through the system to go on a run and be perfect every single game. Dewald will find his feet, I think, and I believe, and we need to give him that time and space to grow and to and to develop his game and grow his game. His game isn't fully complete yet. I think he's still learning a lot. There's still a lot of things that he can learn. So, and I think we need to be in his corner and support him. He's a young cricketer and he needs the support from the fans. Aruna says Eddie Moore got added to the squad. Good decision. Yep, Eddie Moore has received his test call up. I am so delighted for that. We've been following Eddie's career for quite some time on the channel, and we've interviewed him. He was one of our first interviews when we did our live shows, when we started our live shows during COVID. So I'm very chuffed, and I'm very proud of him as a fan of his, because he always said that that's his dream, to play Test cricket for South Africa, and now it's finally come. And this SA20 and all of this happening is kind of a blessing in disguise, because we're starting to see guys in the SA tour to New Zealand that are getting opportunities that they might not have had before, and it's given a chance for us to maybe see some newer talent come into the limelight and get an opportunity to show what they're capable of at the highest level. Players like Eddie Moore, they've been in and around the conversations for quite some time and just never got an opportunity or look in. So I'm extremely chuffed about this, and I hope he can do extremely well in New Zealand. I hope that he can truly show his ability with the bat. I think we need a player like Eddie in New Zealand, someone that gets stuck in, um, can really bat for long hours and face a lot of balls, and that understands his game and that is solid. We don't need to now put pressure on Reiner van Tunda, who is not an opener per se, to now go and open the batting. You've got Eddie Moore and you've got Neil Brandt, two openers that open the batting in domestic cricket. So I think that was a great move. It's what we suggested on this channel as well. So all in all, happy, I think, as Cricket Fanatics fans. Lawrence says Ryan has done it now at th- Lawrence says Ryan has done it now at three venues: Durban, Johannesburg, and Cape Town. That's really important to factor in when we talk about performances. Three completely different surfaces, a criteria we need to look at more. I actually said that, yes, at the top of the show. I mentioned that we must take into consideration and remember that he's done it now at three different venues, also consecutively. It's hard, a lot of hard things that he's achieved, and he's looking solid, and he's looking, how can I say, comfortable with his game. And that's what I enjoy the most about his performances so far. He's looked comfortable at the crease, and he's looking like he's understanding his game really well. Now, if he does get into the squad for the World Cup, which I do think he should be one of the players that should be, with Temba Bavuma not making the squad, I think that there's an opening position available, and it's a shootout at the moment. Riza, Rassi, and Rickleton. It's a shootout for another spot in that opening position currently. So, and I think Ryan is the head of the pack when it comes to that, currently on form. But I do think that because of Riza's form and stats in T20 cricket, it should be him that pips Ryan for that other position with Quinton Cock. So the question is going to be how South Africa is going to pick their 11s. Are they going to go, if Ryan continues his form like this, does he go straight into the 11? Or do we still trust the trial and tested Quinton de Kock with Reza Hendricks? Because at the moment, Reza should be one of the first name on the team sheet when it comes to form in the T20 format for South Africa, if you're looking at the South African performances. Currently, in SA20, he's starting to find his feet. JSK overall with the bat is struggling. Lawrence says, Bartman was ice cold, magnificent over. This guy can actually bowl a Yorker, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for more bowlers that can bowl Yorkers. Um, Blitz says, I'm sure all those venues were flat tracks. Who will Sunrisers? Well, the Durban wicket was a good wicket. It wasn't the same surface that they played on yesterday. So we can kind of say that those tracks were conducive for batting. But it's still a difficult thing to do, to score 3 half centuries on the bounce. It's not an easy task. Kani says, Khalid, who will Sunrisers drop when Temba comes back? I don't think that at the moment that they can drop anybody because at the moment, my suggestion to Temba would be, now that Jordan scored 100, you can't drop Jordan. You can't drop David Malani, this scored a 50. You can't drop Aiden Markram, he's the captain. You can't drop Thurston Stubbs because he's in great form. You can't drop Tom Abel because he's in great form. So at the moment, there's no one that is droppable in that top 4. So now that Jordan has scored 100, I mean, Timber might as well go to New Zealand and go play Test cricket. It's highly unlikely that he'll get a shout in this particular tournament. But unfortunately, the situation is as it is. I don't know if any special considerations or special treatment can be given or special permission can be given for Temba to go play Test cricket. I think it would be better for him if he goes and plays Test cricket and goes and captains the side in New Zealand rather than play this SA20 or not get any game in this SA20. It will take a lot for this top 4 to top 5 even to give up a spot to Temba. The thing is that even without the form that these players are in now, Temba doesn't get into the side on his natural ability, in my opinion, as a T20 player. So there's no need to force him into a side. There is absolutely no reason for that. And I don't think SEC will do that. So it's going to be interesting what they do with Temba and how they're going to handle the situation. Khalid, your top 3 batting lineup for the T20 World Cup. Quinton de Kock, Reza Hendricks, Riley Rousseau, Aiden Markram, Heinrich Klaassen, and David Miller. That's my top 6. And I would bring Tristan Stubbs on the bench, and I would bring Ryan Rickleton on the bench as backups for that top 3 and middle order. Tristan can bat 4, 5, 6. Ryan can bat 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're covering 2 bases with 2 batters. Also have a backup keeper. 2 backup keepers, of course. So that would be my top 6 for the World Cup. Kani says Jansen's spot in the 11 is not sealed in T20s. Guy is leaking runs. Yeah, he needs to find his rhythm and his consistency again. He started off his T20 career so well, playing in the IPL, playing for South Africa. He needs to find his rhythm again. He needs to find his length, his line and length again, and that consistency. We know how good he is. I think he also needs to maybe not try too hard to make the ball do fancy things or to do special things. I think naturally because of his makeup, his body makeup, his physical makeup, as well as his left arm, the fact that he's a left armer, he gets natural variations. So I think maybe he mustn't try too hard to swing the ball or to get the ball to move off the seam, etc. I think he needs to just focus on putting it in good spots um, for now. Sometimes, bowlers, maybe like I know personally, and I know this is professional cricket, so it's completely different. But I know sometimes if I try too hard to bowl too fast, then I bowl all over the place. So maybe he just needs to just find a rhythm again, find his range again, and just try to be consistent by putting the ball on a spot regularly rather than trying too many variations or trying to swing the ball too much or trying to get movement, etc. I think just put the ball in good areas again, go back to basics and try to find your rhythm again before you try fancy things. Kanish is Khalid, I think they might pick Ryan ahead of Quinton de Kock in the T20 World Cup. Ooh, that will be a big call if they do so. Um, Quinny at any time. Quinny's lucky, in fact, at the moment that his team is in great form because when he comes to form, it can at least be to help his team get out into the knockouts. Whereas a player like Riza at the moment at JSK, their chances of qualification is already looking slim with 3 defeats in the first 3 games or 2 defeats, as well as a rained out game. So at the moment, Kwani is in a better space than Riza, I feel, with regards to finding form that is relevant, form that is that tells a bigger story because playing games to help your team win matches under pressure circumstances is a lot more valuable than scoring runs when there's no pressure on. And I hope that JSK can maybe come back and I want this tournament to be close. I don't want one team to run away with it and then a couple of teams competing. I would like all these teams to try and compete with each other and really make it difficult to get the playoff spot. It just makes the competition a lot more exciting. As a fan base, it's a lot more exciting for us as well. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Um, Aruna says, if Quentin Lecoq didn't perform in SA20, well, do you think then also he will play in T20 World Cup because he hadn't performed until now? It's a very interesting point. The question always remains whether Quentin Lecoq is droppable or whether he's undroppable. And I don't believe in personally that any player should be undroppable. Um, and I think that SA20 form, yes, counts for something, but I don't think it outweighs international performances. So I still believe that international cricket holds a lot more weight than the SA20 personally. I think the pressure is different. The the quality is different. And I think that you're playing with a lot more pressure on your back. So with regards to looking at the players currently in that top three and seeing which players are the ones that are in trouble, I think that currently Quinton de Kock and Reza Hendrik should be the opening pair, regardless of what happens in the SA20. That's my opinion. I do think that Ryan deserves credit. He deserves recognition for his performances. Now, if the World Cup starts and Quinton de Kock is struggling or Reza Hendricks is struggling in the first two or so games, then maybe we can look at trying something different and giving Ryan Rickelt an opportunity because he's in great form. And so we must have the options available to do so. And it's good headache for Rob to have. Lawrence says Riza has literally been our best T20 player in Kundercock's game changer. Having Ryan on the bench won't hurt either. If Riza or Kundercock struggle at the World Cup, I just said that. At the World Cup, you make the squad. Caribbean pitches are slow, like Paul won't suit Quinton de Kock. QDK struggled in the T20 World Cup at UAE in similar type of pitches. Lawrence says we need to be more flexible in how we use our squad. Yeah, and I think that the squad is important, and utilizing the squad is also very important. Form is important, I think, and I'd like to see something different. We've tried the old way, and the old way hasn't worked. Let's try something different. Let's try to give players that are in form opportunities to take South Africa into a good space. And maybe that is the answer for us to win our first World Cup, because we always go on reputation over form. And when a player has reputation and form, then that's a no-brainer. That's easy to pick. But when a player has reputation but hasn't been in form, and there's another player that's in form that is part of the squad, that's when the difficult decisions come in. Canis' picking seamers will be difficult, very difficult. There are so many great seamers that are currently available. Anrich Norkier, hopefully he comes good and he's fit. You've got Gerald Coetzee, you've got Ngidi, you've got obviously Janssen. Now you've got Lazard and Bartman that's doing well. So Berger is also doing quite well. So the Pavelon at the moment is looking good in this SA20. So, but I know he hasn't necessarily been in and around the team and the squad. But out of the guys that have already been, we've got a massive, massive group of players. And it's great also to have that headache. I'd rather have them than not. We also play around 7 games before we get to the playoffs. So a lot of games to give Oaks a run. That's also true. Canis is Berger, Lazard, AG Ngidi, Kutsia, Janssen, Bartman, Nokia. Yeah, there are a lot of players available for that SA20 team. I mean, for that World Cup, sorry, that are doing well in the SA20 as well at the moment. So it's a good problem to sit with. It's a good problem and headache to have. So, yeah, South African cricket is looking like it's in a great space at the moment. So that's brilliant. There's a lot of talent available. There's a lot of players hitting form at the right times now. So I'm very chuffed so far with what I've seen from the South African players in the CSA20. And so far, it's been quite an exciting tournament from a versatile perspective of a variety of different games, variety of different uh, performances. It's great to see. Vishal says, "Who do you think is ahead in all rounders race for seven for T20 World Cup? Andile or Janssen? Is there anyone else that comes to your mind? Linda, they are not going to select no matter what he does in SA20. I think they'll. I think perhaps they're gonna have to look at rethinking this decision around George Linder. We haven't necessarily seen George Linder bat yet to really talk about that 7 position. And I think that if he does come in and does do well in a couple of games, it will be they shouldn't not look at him. I don't think that is fair when a player does perform. If you're giving other players a chance when they are rewarding good form, then you need to do it consistently all around. Mohammed Amin says Brevis equals for. I don't think so. I just think that he's currently going through a difficult time. All youngsters have gone through difficult periods um, when they come into the domestic setup and they make that transition from youth cricket. They all struggle, and Dewald's basically only playing in his first full season where he's playing all formats for the Titans. So we need to be patient with the lad. He's still very young, so we need to be patient and allow his game to develop. So there's no doubt about his talent and his power. He just needs to find that form, and I'm sure it will come. I believe that it will. Thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. I am beat now. This whole evening of running around, doing videos and everything, so I'm quite tired. Armin says Ryan again making coaches looking like a coaches look like clowns, making coaches clowns. Yeah, he's really been fantastic. Like I said at the top of the show, Aruna says Anir Nokia met the under 19 captains today. Yeah, he is the ambassador for under 19 cricket. They event ambassador. They announced it. We put the story up on cricketfanaticsmag.com for you guys to read, and he gave some comments there as well. But thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos. We're on the brink of 5,000 subscribers, so please help us get there, not far away. And thanks a lot for watching and tuning in and commenting and being present with me on the shows. I know it's a bit late than usual because obviously the SA20 has the prime time slot, and everybody's obviously watching it. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in after the games and keeping me company. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out, everyone.